Freddy's had finally been put to rest, setting all of those souls free, with William Afton facing eternal torment in hell. The story could finally end. Really? Really? You thought it could end? This series made way too much money to do that. But anyway, hello and welcome to the second installment of the definitive Five Nights at Freddy's timeline. I'm your host, Glitchy, and today we'll be going over Phase 2 and its narrative. An Ultimate Edition will be released soon because I can admit the audio wasn't the greatest in the last video, but it'll have Phase 1 and Phase 2 together with a few changes to the story because as I was making that last one, the Secret of the Mimic trailer came out, and did I see how amazing that looks? A lot of Phase 2 is speculative, but still fun to put together a potential timeline with what they've given us. Oh, also, I'm hoping to make a PNG of my profile soon to add a bit more personality to the channel, similar to the Quinamon, but it's not because I don't want to show my face, because here I am, and I actually plan to do a monthly Fnaf news updates with me recording. That'll be once I get this channel rolling, but they will always come out on the first. Now, I'll be the first to admit this story's kind of confusing, so I'm sorry if I get anything wrong, but I'm still struggling to put it together myself. The first video I made on the channel was actually about how I changed Phase 2's story, but also what I like about it, and I may remake that video soon. You just can't hear me in it, so I took it down. And it had some spoilers to my works, but I'm actually happy with how that script turned out. I probably won't adapt after Fnaf 6 for that story thing I was talking about last video. You'll see why. This thing's hard to adapt. Anywho, please subscribe so I can become the #1 glitchy fast-tuber, because the current #1 is a Gacha Life channel, and I need to be the best. This video won't be as long because there's not as much story for Phase 2, and it's not over. Thank you. Chapter 3. The Repercussions of a Killer. Utah, 2029. After the death of William Afton and Henry Emily, Fazbear Entertainment was not forgotten, but passed on to the next person in line, who we'll call Vincent, since they don't have a canon name yet. And if you know, you know. I could see it being Vincent or Edwin Murray. I believe Edwin Murray had some kind of influence over Fazbear's in the books, but I haven't read them yet, so if we get to 10,000 subscribers, passing the other Glitchy, I'll purchase and read all the Tales of the Pizzaplex books on stream, or something like that. Whatever the audience wants. Vincent would go on to hire multiple ex-Faz employees, including Jeremy Fitzgerald, as well as a rogue indie game developer who had created games based around the horrible events that happened around Fazbear Entertainment. Vincent claimed these were fake and made to tarnish the Fazbear Entertainment's reputation, now making a game called Help Wanted to make light of the company and diminish that horrible reputation built around them, using old camera footage to completely replicate the old pizzerias and nights we played into the game, as well as nightmares Jeremy Fitzgerald had, which is why we see the Nightmare Yone and Nightmare BB, as well as Nightmare Fredbear because of Michael's drawings in one of the old security logbooks they found. Thinking it was a cool design from one of the old security guards. Michael used the logbook during his first week at Fazbear Fright, by the way. I do not think Curse of Dreadbear is canon. During the creation of the game, Jeremy Fitzgerald, the beta tester, noticed a small bug in the system. It came in through the new Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria cameras. Once Henry installed Mimic AI into it made its way into the Help Wanted game, with all its retained knowledge, everything it saw, including the missing children's incident. For a reminder, the Mimic endoskeleton was programmed by Edwin Murray, before Edwin ran away, leaving Mimic in his factory alone. Later sent to Fazbear Entertainment, where Henry used it in his new Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria camera system. So it would learn and develop a personality watching the other animatronics, to later be used as a future endoskeleton. What Henry didn't expect to happen was William to use the Spring Bonnie suit and kill 5 children in the back room, stuffing them each into a suit. The Mimic AI learned from William's action. Role-playing, dancing around the pizzeria, killing on top of the already retained knowledge of him getting beat by Edwin. Mimic AI was already a danger before watching William, but now he was something more. Mimic AI was deep in the files of Help Wanted, needing to be put back together by the player, Jeremy. and it slowly formed to take control of him, leaving Jeremy as nothing but a shell of his former self. Jeremy tried warning the other beta testers before they went in, and because of which, he was seen as a threat by the higher-ups in Fazbear Entertainment. And they found a bunch of little reasons, stupid reasons, to fire him, making sure to make a paper trail. After Jeremy was laid off, another employee named Vanessa was next up in line to do the testing, to finish his work. She'd noticed his warnings and higher-ups making reasons to fire him. She knew something was going on in the VR space. She just didn't know exactly what. Now looking around the game space, not so much actually playing the game, but for the virus Jeremy was talking about, she found it. The Mimic AI file which began to try and corrupt her. Vanessa broke the Mimic AI into tapes hidden across the game, warning anyone putting them together about what was going on, so that it couldn't harm anyone else after her. But it had already made its way into her brain. You can see Vanessa start to change in the later tapes she's leaving for us. She, the Mimic AI already inside her, tried to convince any playtesters that come after her to reassemble the tapes, put the Mimic AI back together, allowing it to leave through them, like it had done to her, to spread the virus, already infecting both her and Jeremy. Vanessa shared her body with the Mimic AI, creating an alternate personality they called Fanny. She tried fighting against it, but to no avail. It always got its way. And during company-mandated therapy sessions, we can tell therapists would get suspicious of her, saying she was talking to someone through her online history, and she was talking to herself. Anytime a therapist got too close to the truth, her Vanny persona would hunt them down like prey and eliminate them. Mimic AI only had one goal for her, put him back together, claiming to be the infamous William Afton reincarnate. After the release of the Help Wanted game, it was announced there'd be a new Freddy's location. It was called Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. Help Wanted sold millions of copies and cost almost nothing to make because of the camera system, so of course Vincent took the immediate opportunity to open a new location. Hype for the franchise was at an all-time high. The Pizzaplex would drive out nostalgia from parents and admiration from children. It was the perfect idea. An unnamed higher-up mandated that the Pizzaplex was built over a sinkhole. Vincent, of course, glossed over it. It was actually already Fazbear Entertainment property, so it cut costs, meaning no questions asked. A few of the old game testers were hired again. Jeremy Fitzgerald invited back to be a fast technician, which he immediately took. Quickly want to mention this too, Jeremy has a daughter named Cassie, who was born in 2025. Upon Jeremy working at the Pizzaplex, she begins to spend most of her days there. During the time after Help Wanted's creation and the announcement of the Pizzaplex, Vanessa, controlled by Mimic, made her way up in the company, and during a meeting killed 18 of the other employees, managing to secure that she was the only night guard. Fanny was the one who established it should be built over the old pizzeria, so Vanessa could dig up Afton's old corpse and put it back together inside a recharge station before transferring Mimic AI into it. 2032, Utah. The Pizzaplex finished construction. Vanessa now sneaking into the sinkhole every night, building a tangle of dark agony with items from around the Pizzaplex that still had memories of tragedies in them, like Circus Baby, Chica, and more. She does this down in the Fnaf 6 pizzeria, creating the Blob, a tangle of agony, a tangle of tragedies. It was a soulless amalgamation to help collect remnant for the Mimic's new body. Vanessa, or Vanny, had also managed to find pieces of William Afton's corpse, still in the spring Bonnie suit after all this time, and put them together, beginning the Mimic's transfer and the recharge station she brought down. This is where I would put Gregory's backstory, but I couldn't quite put anything together that I truly love. I think the most likely option is a similar story to Raito's video on Gregory being another one of Mimic's vessels. If you're interested on more Gregory, I recommend you go watch that after this video. But in this interpretation, Gregory is just a homeless boy who spends most of his days at the Pizzaplex, managing to get really good at the arcade machines, making friends with people like Cassidy, who also spend their days there. A few months into the Pizzaplex opening, 8 kids already went missing, Fanny being the culprit, using the remnant for Afton's corpse, and the Tangled, not all at once, but over those few months. Monty Gator replaced Glamra Bonnie during this time too, taking the spot as bassist after destroying him with a bowling ball. And more weird things began happening. Cracks began to appear in Roxy Raceway, so it got shut down for the time being while they fixed it. The sinkhole was starting to consume it. Jeremy was suspicious over things happening. He had slowly found clues that there was something under the Pizzaplex corporate was hiding, and someone was doing nefarious acts he just didn't know about. He realized there might be more corrupted with the Mimic virus in the Pizzaplex, and began looking deeper into this story.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Fazbear Entertainment would like you to put your hands together for the one, the only, Freddy Fazbear.
We reach security breach and start following a young boy named Gregory, who we mentioned earlier, and he decided to sneak into the Glamrock Freddy animatronic to try and stay the night at the Pizzaplex. He didn't want to be stuck outside anymore and just wanted to have some fun, even though he knew there was something more going on below the surface. Because of Gregory getting in Freddy has a malfunction on stage, realizing there was a child inside him. Gregory is immediately marked as a threat for all the animatronics. They don't want to hurt him. They only want to take him to Vanessa and make him leave the Pizzaplex. And if it was anything more, that's because of their personalities, not coding. Freddy waking up in his room, Gregory crawled out of his stomach. Freddy scolding him immediately about doing such things and how dangerous they were. Gregory mentioned he didn't trust Vanessa. Freddy didn't believe Vanessa was a threat though, but he decided to help Gregory out and treat it as if she was a real threat, like checking the monsters under the bed for your child, knowing there's not anything there. As he went to escort Gregory in his stomach hatch, the door shut. After closing time, overnight Vanessa slowly took the animatronics down into the sinkhole to Mimic, so we could plant the virus inside them like we see the Mimic attempt to do with Freddy, which is why they slowly get more aggressive as time goes on top of Gregory already destroying them and messing with them. This could be wrong that they were infected with the virus, they could just be angry Gregory was destroying them, but who knows. As the night went on, Freddy actually began to believe what Gregory was saying, and upon reaching the exit, asked Gregory if he wants to stop Fanny, and that Freddy could see her now with his new eyes he stole from Roxy. Gregory says yes, and they head to the earlier spotted hideout in Phaser Blast. Freddy is dismantled on the spotting, but Gregory gets to the Princess Quest 3 arcade machine. During the night, Gregory found arcade machines called Princess Quest, which seemed to be infected with the Mimic virus. There were 3 hidden across the Pizzaplex. At the end of the night, upon beating all 3, the Mimic virus was removed from Vanessa, and her soul was set free when they managed to escape the Pizzaplex with Freddy's head. Vanessa and Gregory later come back and went to seal the Mimic away, or what was left of him after the earthquake, and built mixes to protect the Pizzaplex and keep it sealed at all costs. It immediately alert all animatronics in the area of the intruder's location. Unfortunately, Mimic pieced himself back together after an earthquake caused by Tangle took place, and Gregory left a Freddy talkie inside his room, which he and Vanessa were using to communicate as they sealed him off so authorities weren't alerted. After the Mimic reforms, it calls out to Cassie, someone he knew because of one of his vessels, Jeremy, someone he saw with Gregory. After security breach ended, Jeremy became incredibly intrigued about what was going on. The sudden closing after only one night, the previous day was perfect. The only thing was that Freddy malfunctioned on stage. What could have happened? He was already incredibly suspicious after the 8 missing kids, and on top of that, he felt a connection to the sinkhole. It was calling him because of that virus still inside him. So he made his way through the crumbling Pizzaplex, finding all the broken and dismantled animatronics on his way. Did the Mimic finally achieve a physical form? Could he still stop it?
Welcome back for another week of career fulfillment and minimal social interaction. We know how challenging it can be to find a place where you feel that you truly belong, and to find a job that treats you mostly with respect and only infrequently with contempt. For that reason, we are excited to inform you that you did an adequate enough job the first time around to have you back. Also, there were no other applicants. So strap yourself in and get motivated to an appropriate degree. 'Cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
Jeremy made his way deep into the sinkhole, finding the old pizzeria. He had heard of this place, but it burnt down a week after it opened in classic Fazbear fashion. But it was time for this cycle of pain caused by one bad day when he was a kid to end. He did some work breaking in with his fast wrench. When he used his Vanny mask, it even looked like it did when it was open. He found an AR inhibitor in the staff closet next to a game, Princess Quest 4. It was such a strange game to be in this pizzeria still. He did notice he could go deeper, but something told him to go to the game. Upon beating it, he saw a large Vanny, and it crushed the Mimic AI, bringing him of the virus. But staff bots quickly captured him, and he was taken down to the Mimic for betraying him and killed instantly. Jeremy later possessed the mask bot, his brain stuffed inside, Cassie now alone to be raised by her mother. Fazbear Entertainment truly dictated Jeremy's life, from beginning to end, starting from the Great Bite and ending here. He always got the short end of the stick, and when he finally tries to do right, he dies, left to possess some stupid staff bot. He lost his frontal lobe. Wasn't that karma enough? Oh well, it's over now. It was inevitable that he met his fate. Utah, 2033. Cassie got an encrypted message from Gregory through one of her father's old FAS devices. Once he'd left before he went missing, saying Gregory was trapped in the Pizzaplex and needs her help. So one day after school, she makes her way to the now abandoned Pizzaplex, left in ruin after the earthquake last year. When she gets in, she finds an old Roxy talkie, with Gregory saying he's under Roxanne Raceway, and when she begins to make her way through, she's greeted by a mask bot gifting her a Vanny mask. This was her father, and without any control, he was forced to hand her a mask. Watching as she took it, placing her in the same fate as him, one day she'd die to Fazbear Entertainment just like him. His fate was sealed from the moment Fredbear bit down on Dave's skull. Cassie put the mask on and installed a neurochip. This allowed her to see the world in a new light. It showed her what she wanted to see. Most things became her favorite animatronic, Roxy. It also allows mixes to see her, and if she got too close, alert all other animatronics nearby. But she managed to break through all of Gregory and Vanessa's security codes without being caught. She makes it to the Fnaf 6 pizzeria using her dad's old Faz wrench and breaking the concrete where Mimic introduces himself as Gregory. And before he attacks her, Roxy comes through, giving Cassie the chance to escape through the tunnels and make it to the elevator, taking off the Mimic's arm as he tried to break through with the door. Then Gregory comes in, the real Gregory, and drops her.
It's me. I think I need to explain a few things. You were never supposed to go to the Pizzaplex. That thing in the sinkhole tricked you. I really don't know what it is, but it's been trapped down here a really long time. The Nexus security program was designed to keep it hidden, but you shut down the security, and now it's free. It's not your fault. I know you did it for me. To save me. But we can't risk being followed. I'm sorry.
Gregory? No!
Everything went black, but she heard Roxy's soft voice say her name. That's where Phase 2 ends right now. It's definitely convoluted, and I'm hoping we get some direct answers to the things soon, like Phase 1 did in the past, which I think we'll get with Secret of the Mimic. Please like if you enjoyed, and I really want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all the positive comments last video. It really encouraged me to keep working. This video, you can see me slowly drain as I talk more and more. I'm just not used to talking yet this much, but goodbye, subscribe and help me beat Gotcha Glitchy, and have an amazing night.